Okay, so this is the last one in the order of the Oikawa, Arukenimon, Mummymon, Malmyotismon, Dark, Control Spire Digimon ones. This is the video about the Control Spire Digimon, in regards to the order that I'm recording them in. So, Control Spire Digimon are quite obviously Digimon that are made from Control Spires. They are made by Arukenimon, who is one of the servants to Oikawa. She can pluck a hair from her head, and then she inserts it into a Control Spire. A whole Control Spire. Not one that's been partially destroyed or whatever. It has to be one that is intact. And she can then turn the Control Spire into a Digimon. I went over this a little bit in the Arukenimon and Mummymon video, but considering how many Control Spire Digimon we kind of deal with in the story, I wanted to give them their own little video here. So, the first Control Spire Digimon that we are introduced to is called Thundermon. Cody and Digimon are working on trying to deal with like a sewer system in like this village that the Digidestin are trying to fix. And after, trying to fix after, Ken is no longer the Digimon Emperor. And they're trying to fix some of the problems that he caused. Fix the digital world's infrastructure, if you would. And Thundermon shows up and he just starts attacking Cody and Digimon. And then this is the time frame when Digimon then digivolves, Armadillomon digivolves into Ankylomon. Cody and Ankylomon are trying to deal with Thundermon. And unfortunately, Cody almost gets hurt. And he's saved by Stingmon. And then Stingmon then destroys Thundermon. Now, to the other Digidestined, when they see this, they look at it as Ken and Stingmon just killed this Digimon that had maybe just been attacking Cody, but could have just been like, calmed down, and then maybe it would, defeat it a little bit, worn it out, and then calm it down. It just looks like Stingmon and Ken just straight up killed the thing. And that's not the case. Ken and Stingmon know that they are, that Thundermon was a Control Spire Digimon. He was made from one Control Spire. And the reason that we know this is because when they first get to the village, they try regular Digivolving and it doesn't work. The Digidestin try regular Digivolving and it doesn't work. So they have to use Armored Digivolving. And not even TK and Kari can get their Digimon to Digivolve normally. So it's like, okay, so it has to be the Control Spire that's still causing problems. Because part of the thing that goes with the Control Spires that Ken designed is that it prevents Digimon from Digivolving. Armored Digivolving is the exception to this rule, but it prevents Digimon from being able to Digivolve normally. So, Patamon could turn into Pegasusmon, but could not turn into Angemon. But what ends up happening is the Digidestin are just like, so did Ken not change? They're like concerned about this. And what ends up happening is the reason we get the explanation before the others, because we then see Ken and Stingmon fighting against a Sneemon, made of a Control Spire made by Arukenimon. And he knows that they're Control Spire Digimon. And the way the others find out that they are Control Spire Digimon is, actually, it involves Mimi and Palmon. Mimi and Palmon are just having like a little day in the digital world with, spending time with a bunch of little baby Digimon. And Palmon goes off and she actually sees Arukenimon pluck a hair from her head, push it into a Control Spire using her Spirit Needle, and then changes the Control Spire into a Golemmon. And, Palmon sees this, and she tries running back to Mimi to tell her that, oh, it's not a real Digimon, it's a Control Spire. And she unfortunately gets knocked out by Golemmon in the process. And Mimi and the baby Digimon find her, and the other Digidestin show up. And Golemmon is actually trying to make his way to this dam, because if he destroys this dam, he can then flood this Digimon town that's at the bottom of the dam, at the bottom of the river. And so he's, starts smashing and everything on the dam, and the other Digidestin show up, and they start trying to, they stop the water at one point, and then he's, just going to go and, smash and, cause more water to be, released. And the Digidestin are then, trying to deal with this, and Ken shows up with Stingmon, and he starts attacking Golemmon, and they end up seeing that like part of Golemmon, like the outside of him, like a shell, like he's a shell, and part of it gets destroyed, and they see the inside of it. And at this point in time, Palmon has woken up and has explained that it's not a real Digimon, it's a Control Spire. Somehow, that a woman turned it into a Digimon. It's not a real Digimon. So then the Digidestined, this is when Yoli then digivolves Hawkmon into Haquilamon for the first time. And between her and Stingmon working together, between Haquilamon and Stingmon working together, Yoli and Ken working together, they're able to destroy Golemmon. And they see that, you know, when Golemmon gets destroyed, he's got like this giant shell on the inside that just looks like it's made of black. And then like the outside of him, you know, or it's like his core was made of black, and then like the outside was just a shell to make him look like a Digimon. And Yoli and the others like apologize to Ken for thinking that he had killed Thundermon, because TK realizes in the battle, oh, then Thundermon must have been a Control Spire Digimon too, because that Control Spire vanished. So it must have been turned into Thundermon by, you know, this woman. And, you know, they apologize to Ken, and Ken's, you know, not really all that, you know, he's like, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, I'll take the apology type thing. And what ends up happening is then, you know, our Kennymon doesn't like watching her, you know, Control Spires get destroyed, so they start destroying, the Digidestined start just destroying all of these different Control Spires all over the digital world, because if or Kennymon can't use them to turn them into Control Spires, she can't cause as many problems. So they just start going through and destroying Control Spire after Control Spire after Control Spire, like huge chunks of them. Whether or not, like, they destroy them, but like they just kind of like fall to pieces. They don't like vanish or anything. So I don't know if there's a way for them to make the Control Spires like full on vanish. I mean, I was gonna say, but the economical way of doing this is so you don't have like broken bits of Control Spire all over the place. It's just like allow her to change them into a Digimon, and then you then destroy the Digimon. But you know, that would also like give the Digimon like a lot of, you know, let the fake Control Spire Digimon, you know, cause problems. She then makes another Digimon that is called an Atarumon, out of a Control Spire, and she orders it to destroy a bridge that the Digidestined just rebuild. The Digidestined are able to rather quickly defeat him. He's just more of like, oh, I'm annoyed, you know, I have a split end, make a Control Spire Digimon, and then go cause problems. So then she's like, okay, one Control Spire is not enough to defeat these guys. So what if I make a Digimon out of 10 Control Spires? So she goes to where Ken's base is, where it landed, and, you know, it's kind of getting ready to explode. And she goes and she makes a Digimon out of 10 Control Spires that is called Okuamon. Admittedly, every single Digimon that she makes out of a Control Spire are actual, like, there's an actual Digimon that is based off of. She just is like, okay, well, this Digimon's good at smashing things. And, you know, Okuamon, I think Okuamon is a ultimate level Digimon. It's what Kawagamon can digivolve into. And it starts, you know, causing problems. And this is when Ken and Davis connect. And when they get Paildramon. And Paildramon is then able to spend, like, the next, you know, 2 parts of an episode or whatever, dealing with defeating Okuamon. Is able to defeat Okuamon, and then, you know, Kennymon is just like, it caused even more problems. 10 Spires wasn't enough. And then this is when she makes, you know, Black War Greymon out of 100 Control Spires, but Black War Greymon already got their own video. Which will either is posted or will be posted soon. In the next couple of weeks or so. Then she makes Blossommon. When they're out trying to deal with Black War Greymon, Ken, Kari, and Yoli end up getting trapped in like a warp in the digital world that traps them in the dark world, which is where the Dark Ocean is. And as a way of just, you know, causing more problems for them, our Kennymon then makes a large Blossommon. and sends the Blossomon to go and deal with them. This is when Yoli and Kari connect, and when they are able to DNA Digivolve Gatomon and Aquilamon into Sylphimon for the first time. And they are able to then defeat Blossomon. Blossomon is not a bad looking Digimon, but I don't know if it'd be one that I necessarily want as my partner, but I don't know. And then, of course, in the time frame when they are trying to deal with Blackboard Greymon, they have, they made, Blackboard Greymon is made of 100 Control Spires. So they took 200 Control Spires and made 20 Mammothmon, thinking that these Mammothmon would be enough to be able to take down Blackboard Greymon. Arukenimon and Mummymon were wrong. They are not able to do this. They are not able to take him down by any means. He's, he just like destroys one row of like them at one point, and then he destroys the rest of them quite easily. And he, he kind of envied Blackboard Greymon kind of envied the Mammothmon a little bit, because this is when Blackboard Greymon is having his, crisis of, identity crisis and everything, as I either went over or will be going over in the Blackboard Greymon video. I've already recorded it, but I don't know when it goes up. So we still have that. But then the last Control Spire Digimon that I can think of that they show, and I even like double checked through the Wikipedia to make sure this was correct. The last one that they make is called Nightmod, which Nightmon itself is like a Digimon that's this like very noble type Digimon is what he's supposed to look like, and he is sent to go and destroy one of the Destiny Stones. And he, is, he's just like, banging his sword on the Destiny Stone. I think he's just probably made out of a couple of Control Spires. They don't state specifically how many Control Spires he's made out of, but he's, he gets destroyed either by the Digidestin or by Blackboard Greymon, and then Blackboard Greymon then destroys the Destiny Stones. Yeah, which leads us into more of stuff with Blackboard Greymon. So the Control Spire Digimon, they're all based on actual Digimon. It's just they're all fake. They're this, shell with, the shell that looks like a Digimon on the outside, with the inside is just made up of a Control Spire that has this, whatever mission Arukenimon gave it. The thing that makes Blackboard Greymon different, and I talk about this in the Blackboard Greymon video, is there was so much extra data that it actually turned into like a sentient being. It turned into a soul, or it was allowed to develop into a soul that he would have. These other Control Spire Digimon are just that. They're a shell with a dark hollow inside that, with like a hollow inside that is just there. They just have this mission of go destroy that dam, go destroy that bridge, go destroy that rock, go destroy this thing, go attack those Digidestined. They don't have, they don't have a sense of self. They're not real. They're not whole, I guess would be a good way of putting it. I guess there's a possibility that if given the amount of time, or if they were made of another large amount of Control Spires. I mean, the Mammothmon were each made of, let's see, so they're made of 10 Control Spires each, because there's 20 of them, and they were made out of 200 Control Spires, so they're made of 10 Control Spires each. But so was Okumon. Okumon was made out of 10 Control Spires, and he didn't have any like autonomy. He didn't have anything that made him think differently or whatever. So I don't know if the other Control Spire Digimon could have turned into, could have eventually kind of become real Digimon the way that Blackboard Greymon did. But I guess if she had made a whole bunch of other Digimon out of 100 Control Spires at a time, or even a smaller number at a time, maybe 50 or something, maybe they would have been the same way as Blackboard Greymon, where they would have still had this original instinct to destroy, but then something else would have come in that would have made them, change. I guess I didn't do this in the Blackboard Greymon video, but I guess I could have put Blackboard Greymon to Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Because Stitch is this, this creation that was, this alien experiment creation that was made to just cause chaos and destruction. And Blackboard Greymon was the same way, but then, what do you do when there's nothing to destroy type of a thing. And so I guess I never thought about that. I did not think about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but apparently I did. But with the other Control Spire Digimon, it could be that, I mean, like, I guess Urkenimon could have gone and just made as many Control Spire Digimon as she wanted, until she ran out of hair, I guess. Bald Urkenimon. Mummymon makes the joke. But I mean, like, hair regrows and such, so it's not like she wouldn't have been able to make more, I guess. But, so we get some stuff with that. I don't know if there's any other, as far as I remember, there's no other Control Spire Digimon, and if I missed one, I apologize. If you thought of one that I didn't think of, then let me know. I would assume that most of the other Control Spires probably got destroyed at some point by the other Digi-Destined, jumping around and destroying the Control Spires around the digital world and such. So that's what I have for the Control Spire Digimon. Since I'm actually recording this one last, I think the order that they're going to go up is the Oikawa will be up with the Digi-Destins, and then like Urkenimon and Mummymon one, and then this one, and then Malamyotismon will go up when after the rest of the Digimon Friends videos are finished. So or finished at this point in time whenever this is going up. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any of your own theories about like the Control Spires for like what other Digimon would have been interesting Control Spires or whatever, then go ahead, post them. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye.
Golemon, he's not what you think. He's not even a real Digimon. I know I sound crazy, but you have to believe me on this.